Ed Davey is with me this morning, leader of the Lib Dems. How are the by-elections looking for you?
I think it's looking really interesting. As you know, in the last 2 years, we've won 3 by-elections in Tory heartlands, and we're really very competitive in Somerset, in the Somerton and Frome by-election. So I've been down there, I think, 5 times, 6 times, and we're finding lifelong Conservatives extremely cross with the government. They like what we're saying on things like GPs and the cost of living.
We can't particularly say what we're talking about, can we? Because otherwise I'll have to say everybody else that's standing in that area. So we can't do specific
I won't
issues.
I won't mention our wonderful candidate.
OK. There we go. But you're feeling pretty confident?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to campaign right up to the line because it's a 19,000 Tory majority we've got overturned, so it would be quite something if we were to win. But, you know, in Somerset, we've held that seat before. A wonderful Liberal Democrat MP called David Heath held it from 97 to 2015. And we feel the campaigning messages on things like GPs, on things like NHS dentists...
You're doing it again?
You know, they're really resonating with people.
OK, and what about the other 2 seats, particularly Oxbridge? It's Oxbridge and South Ruislip, isn't it? It's the same, obviously, former Prime Minister's old seat, and Selby.
Well, we have candidates in those seats, but I'll be frank with you, Labour's putting a huge amount of effort in, and Labour really sort of has to win those 2 seats if it wants to, you know, do well at the next general election. We are fighting in part, so there's a part of Selby, for example, which is going to join the Harrogate and Knaresborough constituency after the next election. We feel we're pretty competitive there. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think the Conservatives are in trouble. I really do.
Are Labour saying what you want to hear going into the next election?
Well, to be honest, I'm more focused on what Liberal Democrats are saying as a Liberal Democrat leader, and whether it's our... we were the first party to talk about...
You know where I'm going with this, though, whether or not you'll join forces with them?
Well, no.
If necessary.
No, well, just like in the by-elections, there's no pacts, no deals. We're fighting our own policies. And when I knock on doors, whether it's in a by-election or in the local elections, people want to know what Liberal Democrats are going to do. And, you know, when we talk about our policies, particularly on the NHS and the cost of living, and on things like sewage, actually, they really like what we're saying. And when they are so fed up with the Conservatives, they realise that we're a really powerful vote. And across what I've called the blue wall seats, and indeed I would say increasingly in the South West, they're turning to the Liberal Democrats as the people who can beat the Conservatives.
What's your view on this 2-child limit for benefits?
Well, Liberal Democrats opposed it when the Conservatives brought it in 2017. We think it's a very bad policy. And if we could get rid of this limit, it would be the most cost-effective way of dealing with child poverty. And so I think it really is something that really needs to be done. And in a cost-of-living crisis, which is hitting the poorest the hardest, it's clearly a priority.
Talk to me about GPs and the fact that 8,000 GPs are needed in order to bring down the wait for you to be able to see a GP. Some people are waiting for a month, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, Liberal Democrats have been campaigning for some time for a lot more GPs to reduce the waits that you're talking about, but also because we think it's the way to transform the NHS. A lot of people, when they can't get a GP appointment, they end up getting worse, getting very worried, and then sometimes they go to A&E, and that makes the waiting times and the problems at A&E even worse. So what we're saying is one of the big Liberal Democrat reforms to the NHS is to get more GPs, because it has such a big impact, not just on primary care in your local community, but also for the hospital. And if you combine that with what we're saying on care, and you know we've talked a lot about carers in the past, haven't we? Yeah. If we can sort out the caring side so people can be discharged more quickly from hospital, we really can radically improve the NHS.
OK, it's good to see you as always. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Indeed. Let's see what Friday brings. Thanks a lot. That by-election in Somerton and Frome will take place on Thursday. Here are the candidates in that race. Oh, there's more. I think there's another one. There you go.